Hey guys, Adam here from DirectionTrader.com. Let's do the recap for today. It's the 25th of November, and it's about 20 after 2 here Central. So there's about 40 minutes left in the markets. But I'm going to go ahead and make the video and talk about what we did in the live trading room and what I see going into tomorrow's trading session. So here's the S&P. We'll start there. On the right here, we do have the S&P daily, and then over here is a 15-minute chart. I went ahead and made this a daily chart. Usually this is my 233 tick chart that I trade off of, but I switched it to the daily for the purpose of this video. Today, it was another quiet day, kind of, in the live trading room. Yesterday was brutally quiet. Today we had a little bit more activity, but it was quiet early on, and then we ended up getting some activity later going into lunch. After that 10 o'clock hour here Central Standard Time, we ended up taking 3 trades there towards that later into the morning session. So worked out really nice. Took one Russell trade, which we will cover here. And then 2 more crude trades. One, we ended up taking a small loss. Did not take a full stop out, but we managed our trade, just lost a couple ticks. And then right after that, the market reversed and started to fall. For any of you guys trading crude today, started to fall. We ended up getting a really nice pullback for a nice full target on a crude drop there to the downside. Missed one entry by 1 tick, which would have also been another full target, but nonetheless, no complaining. We ended up getting a nice profit as the crude dropped today. But let's start here with the S&P. And let's talk about what we see here and what we're going to watch for going into tomorrow. Now, Thursday's Thanksgiving. Tomorrow, if we get an opportunity in the trading room, I can see it being early. I can see there being good activity early on, and then people just like us wanting to finish up our day, move on for a nice long holiday weekend. So it's every year it works out the same way. Usually you get some activity in the morning, and then towards the mid-morning session, things really get quiet. So I wouldn't expect anything different going into tomorrow. So tomorrow, you see here on the daily, we're still looking at this really tight range. We have previous day's high. This is Friday's trading range, and we're still inside of that range. Now, I will be disciplined tomorrow. The only long trades I will be taking tomorrow will be them trades above today's highs. So you see that today we put in some highs here, a little bit higher than what the previous day's high was, but that was pre-market. Ever since then, we dropped down in today's session, come up, retesting these previous day's highs, and it really caused a little bit of a havoc. I wanted to get long above today and short if we were able to sell off. We weren't able to do it. We took a Russell trade here, but going into tomorrow on the S&P, I'm going to mark up these previous day's highs. This thing is in a tremendous upswing, but a lot of times you can get some really nice intraday trades on these pullbacks. Any of these pullbacks provide some really great opportunities. So tomorrow I will watch this previous day's high. If we get above it, I'm going with the trend. I'm going to continue the trend back to the upside. No doubt about it. But any chance I get to see the Russell or the S&P create a lower high and lower low on the 15-minute anchor chart, so I'm going to be using a 15-minute anchor chart here. Any chance I see that happening, I will be looking for shorting opportunities. Maybe start a little bit of this pullback. There's a chance it's going to be a dead market, but if I can get a little bit of a pullback, if I can see some opportunities to the short side tomorrow in the stock index futures, I'm going to look for a pullback, guys, because anything that's getting this extended, this far stretched away from its 21 EMA, it usually either A, takes a break, or it actually can get a pullback. Either way can provide an opportunity to the short side. We just won't be getting aggressive to the long side unless we break through them Friday's highs. Okay? So that's what I'm looking for here, especially here on the S&P. Let's quickly go over and take a peek at the Russell here. Russell's where we got our opportunity this morning. It ended up, one of them deals that We got short, or we got long actually, because we were above the previous day's highs. We popped up higher here. We got very, very excited here to the long side, and all of a sudden said, nope, I'm going to take my profits and I'm going to run here. I'm going to get out of this position and I'm going to wait. Same thing, kind of what we were talking about here on the S&P. We were looking to get long early above the previous day's highs. So our trade did come above. It started to fail. As it did, I took a small profit, and sure enough, the market started to roll over. Once it started to roll over, now we're going to start looking at what we can do tomorrow. You see here on the Russell, we are at these daily highs. I know this is a wide zone, but if you just look at these swing highs on the daily, who knows where this thing is going to turn from, right? We have this little zone here that will turn this market, and you could find some sellers in here. So we're going to continue to look. I was looking below these previous day's highs today for an opportunity to the short side, but whenever we got the drop here, we were paying attention to the crude a lot, because by that time the crude started to drop, and we're going to go over that here in a second, and our attention went there. So going forward, what am I looking for here on the Russell? A lot of the same with the S&P. I'm going to be extremely cautious to the long side. I mean extremely cautious. I want to get up above today's highs before I look for a long opportunity. There's just so much resistance that's coming through here on a daily chart. I don't want to be faked out up here. I want to make sure if I'm going long, I'm above the previous day's highs, meaning today's highs, and my market internals are definitely bullish down here. We have the VIX, the VIX working for us. We want the tick to start oscillating to the upside, momentum to the upside on the breadth and the advanced decline. So anything to the long side on the indexes tomorrow, I want to have everything in check and in my direction. Anything to the short side, I will aggressively look for shorts. As long as we're getting lower highs and lower lows on the 15-minute chart, I will aggressively look short to pull this thing back, because we're at resistance here. Not to say that it's going to pull back, but if we start to see lower highs and maybe some negative momentum here on the indexes or anything, I'm going to start looking to be aggressive to the short side with the Russell. And then finally here, let's take a look over at crude. Here on crude is where we made our money today. Great drop. We had a nice plan. If you go back to yesterday's video, I said, guys, I am not interested in crude unless I get outside of the previous day's range. Sure enough, you see this red line here and this green line here? That is the previous day's range. Previous day's high, previous day's low. What did we do this morning? We opened up here and we were patient. We opened up in this mid-range and we were patient. Patient. Sure enough, we had a little push up, and then all of a sudden the market started to tank. When it started to tank, that's when we got interested. Sure enough, in the trading room, we're like, guys, we just dropped below the previous day's lows. Let's check this out. Sure enough, once that happens, we went over to a smaller time frame, and we started to look for these shorting opportunities. We were using a 233 tick chart, which is usually this is the daily, but we're using a 233 tick chart, and as this thing started to drop, so weren't our trading opportunities. We were taking pullbacks to the short side in the direction of this momentum, because sure enough, the momentum was going fast down. Fast down, and then slow pullbacks. So it would drop fast, slow pullbacks. Drop fast, slow pullbacks. And that's when we were getting our opportunities. As this thing was dropping down, we were looking for opportunities, and sure enough, our first one, we had our order out there, missed it by one stinking tick, and then sure enough, it sold off, and then as it sold off, we hit some lows down in here on a 15-minute chart. We were starting to look for actually some upside opportunities, but we did not get a bounce. But as it rolled over, sure enough, we were able to get another shorting opportunity and make a really nice full target profit there on crude. So stayed with the momentum to the downside. Moving forward, I'm a little bit skeptical here. One of two things is going to happen here. We have had a nice drop to the downside, and we've been looking for this reversion to this 21 EMA. That's what we've been talking about for so long, way up here on the daily chart on crude. We finally retested that 21 EMA here a few days ago, last Friday, And ever since then, we've started to roll over. Today, we were trying to decide whether it's going to pull back more or continue its trend. I think it's pretty apparent what's going on here. But now we have to deal with these swing lows here on the daily chart. So we're at the swing lows here. We're not pushing any lower. We're kind of just falling here. We're not pushing hard like we were up here. We're not aggressive. So we don't have the selling end of the lows. Tomorrow, I'm going to come out, and if we can start pushing below the daily lows, so if we can start pushing below today's lows, and we can have that momentum, that continued momentum that we had here early on today, I will look for shorting opportunities down below these daily lows. But just like the S&P and the Russell, they're in an uptrend. Any type of pullback, I'll get aggressive. Same thing here in crude to the other side. This thing is pushing down. Any type of upside activity I can get here off of this daily support makes for a great intraday trading option. So I'll watch the 15-minute chart tomorrow. If we can get any types of higher highs and higher lows on a 15-minute chart off of these lows, I will look aggressively to the long side. Now, this is a day trade. This is not a swing trade. We're without a doubt pushing down. But anytime you're at resistance and you're getting a bounce, it makes for a great intraday trading opportunity to bounce off them daily levels. So I will look for that going into tomorrow. So hopefully I didn't confuse you guys too much. A little bit more in today's video than we had yesterday, simply because, man, today provided some interesting opportunity. We had slow movement early on, and then bam, 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 trade, 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 trade. So provided for a really nice opportunity and good profits in the trading room this morning. So I will be optimistic early on in the morning, and then a little bit probably going to be watching the markets towards the mid to later portion of tomorrow's trading. Historically, it does slow up. People want to get out of the office early, just like we do. But hopefully we can get some good trading early on tomorrow. So that's it for me. If you have any questions, guys, go ahead and email me, adam@directiontrader.com. If not, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Have a good afternoon.